Hello, everybody. Ex Bethelite here. What's wrong with getting on YouTube and sharing a personal experience? That's what I would like to know. What is wrong with getting on YouTube and sharing a personal experience? In particular, we are talking about Jehovah's Witnesses, former Jehovah's Witnesses, Bible studies, anyone who was involved with the organization that has an experience to give in regards to it. What is wrong with that person giving their experience? I have been contacted, over the phone because, I give my number for that purpose. So that people can fact check, people can call, people can discuss things that I may speak about on YouTube. I know that the things that I speak about are very important. So, in my mind, it follows then to leave someone a number or something where they can kind of verify, maybe get clarification, maybe discuss matters. And that's happened. Generally, this is a generalization. It may not be everyone, but most witnesses, they may not necessarily have a disagreement with the way I feel about how I was treated at Bethel. However, they have a issue with me discussing it on YouTube where people can then learn about what happened. Post down below what is wrong with sharing your personal experience on social media. I would really like the answer to that. This is something that I don't want to point blame or assume to know the reason why people don't want things on social media. I have my assumptions as to the reason why people would not want experiences out there on YouTube, and I will give you the facts as to how I come to my conclusion. Keep in mind, I don't think that this is the case for everyone, but this is my reasoning. And my reasoning is that Watchtower has been printing experiences and the literature for a long time. This literature is then not kept inside Kingdom Halls and the organization in general. It is passed out from door to door in the literature where people can then access them. Probably there are experiences on jw.org. I don't know that there is. I don't know that there aren't. But if there are experiences on jw.org where people can watch something, then that is yet another avenue where the organization has put people's personal experiences out there for others to access. That being the case, my reasoning is that it is okay to give an experience. Now, what if that experience is not a positive experience? Should that then be kept out of the public? Well, it depends. It depends on how bad the issue is. If it's something minor, it may not need to go so far as social media. If it's something that once it comes to people's attention, they're working on fixing, it may not need to get put on social media. If it is an issue that is not being resolved, it's not being worked towards being resolved, it's not stopping, then there's no reason to withhold putting that on social media. I mean, that becomes the actual real experience with regards to whatever that issue is. So you can't filter what people know about your organization, because you can take all of those experiences, the ones printed by the organization and the ones that are given voluntarily on social media such as mine, and put them all together, and a person can kind of put the pieces to the puzzle together as to what the organization is about, what's going on with that organization. By having an issue with or wanting people to take down certain experiences, particularly ones that aren't as favorable, the person that desires this, keep in mind, we're talking about people who desire not that the issue become fixed necessarily, but that it's not spoken about. Their issue is that it's out there for people to know about, not that the issue actually happened. That would be almost like a person watching the news and a murder is reported, and they're not so concerned about the murder. They're not so concerned about the people's welfare. They're concerned that this is being reported about and that people now have access to that information. That becomes an issue for me right there. Because with regards to the organization and people reporting on different things, whatever those things may be, if a person has an issue with what is being reported, they could just stop doing whatever it is that is an issue. For example, with regards to me and Bethel and things of that sort, this could have been sorted out a long time ago. If Bethel does not want people to have experiences of abandonment, of endangerment, people just being put out on the street or whatever the case may be, they could just simply not do that. And then there would never be experiences that people have of those things, and therefore those things would not become public knowledge because it wouldn't happen. It's the same with the child molestation. It's the same with everything else. All of the things that people discuss on social media, it had to happen before they discussed it. The main issue is that it happened, not that they discussed it. The main issue is that it happened. So what anyone who is a Christian should really be concerned about is stopping anything that is unchristian that is going on within that organization. They should not so much be concerned about getting the people that are talking about it to be quiet, because that's not helping the issue. If all of us that have given our experiences stop giving them or never gave them, that still does not stop the problem that had occurred. It still happened. It still occurred. Still had thousands of cases of child molestation that did not get reported. It still happened. So that should be the issue. If you have an organization that is a Christian organization, the standards that somebody just rolled by and scared the dickens out of me, but the standards that are set in the Bible, those are standards that should be abided by. Anytime you have a major deviation, no one's perfect. We're not expecting perfection. However, but if you have a major deviation from those standards, such as putting people in direct harm's way by stacking boxes up in their car and telling them to go somewhere, just go. We don't know where you're going. We don't care. Just go. Anytime you have a major deviation from scriptural principles, then it falls on that organization to deal with the repercussions. You committed the act. Bethel committed the act. I didn't do it. Bethel did it. Therefore, the fallout, the bad publicity, people becoming aware of it, that falls on them. Not me, not the person talking about it. It falls on the person that did it, or the group of people that did it. There is where the blame lies. That goes across the board. I've spoken about things other than Bethel. It goes across the board, whatever it was I've been speaking about. Because anything I've been speaking about, I believe I gave my number. If I didn't, I'm going to give it again. Anything I've spoken about, I have given my number where people can contact me, where things can be clarified. 9 times out of 10, that doesn't happen. I've had a few people call, and their issue is not really trying to fix anything. It is generally, well, why is it on YouTube? The number again, 937-789-4029. 937-789-4029. If you have a legitimate reason why the major issues with regards to the organization is people reporting on what's going on, not what's actually going on, or people's actions, then I'd like to hear what you have to say. You could post down below. There's all kinds of different things, ways that you can communicate. Just have something, somewhat thought out. Don't just call and just have just pure ridiculousness. Just think about it a little bit and then call and or text. You could text and let me know what you think about the issues. I've spoken about a number of different issues, and again, any of those issues, whether it be the organization and the child molestation, or the changes in doctrine, major changes in doctrine, or Bethel, what actually occurred with me and with others at Bethel. When it comes to any of those points of discussion, that's all that those are, is points of discussion. And if there's issues with any of those things, then the blame lies with the people who said, hey, this is the truth, and then put out a book saying millions now living will never die. Or, hey, this is the truth, and then said the generation of 1914 will not pass away before the end comes. The issues lie with the people responsible for that, not us that have spoken about how it affected us on YouTube. We have every right to talk about how things affected us on YouTube, because that's our personal experience with regards to being taught something or brought up to believe something, and then those things just being changed later. The concept of Jehovah will fix it, that is something that we need to discuss, because that becomes really null and void, in the sense that we could talk about Bethel, for example. The concept that, well, Jehovah's going to fix it, so at some point Bethel is going to just stop putting people out on the street because Jehovah's going to fix it sometime. Okay, you could take that position, but it apparently hadn't happened yet, and until it happens, it's going to continue to be people's experience, and those experiences are going to then be shared with others. And then when those experiences are shared with others, it then falls on the blame of those responsible, not the person sharing the experience. The person sharing the experience is not guilty of not believing that God may fix it at some point in time. But until then, the experience is relayed so that others have access to information that they could then use to be cautious themselves with regards to any of those different issues, or where they could look up and do research for themselves with regards to any of those different issues, and there is nothing wrong with that. Jehovah's going to fix the child molestation issue. Okay, well, it hasn't been fixed yet. There were thousands of cases that went unreported, and all of those are going to then be shared, with the public, if that's what that person decides to do. And that falls on the organization for having allowed that to occur. So yes, you could take the position Jehovah's going to fix it. Okay, but until that happens, it's still going on, and it's still people's experiences, and it's still going to be shared. You know what I mean? We can go around in circles with this, but the question of what is wrong with people sharing their experiences on YouTube is what I have. And comment down below. Give me a call, send me a text. It's better to just, send a text, so that if I'm busy, we could, probably try to set up a time to talk. But this is ex-Bethelite signing out.